Hey folks, welcome back. Today we're going to start a series called Tackle Talk. What those are short instructional videos on how to use your fishing equipment the best. How to even use your fishing equipment. From rods and reels to line to tackle to storage to even making your own lures. But today what we're going to start off on is rods and reels. The basic essentials. What do I need to start fishing? So, what we're going to do is we're going to start off with everybody's favorite, the push button. These are very inexpensive. You can pick them up at Walmart for $20 or so. Comes with line on it. It's a closed spinning reel. So it has this little shield over it. And it has a little push button on the back. So you push it in and hold it. When you get to your 2 o'clock position, you let go of the button. And off goes your tackle into the water to catch your first fish. These are great for kids. These are great for adults that are starting. They're super inexpensive. And they're easy to use. So the next rod and reel I have here will be my ultralight open-faced spinning reel. Ultralight, as you can see, because the tip is very soft on this. The backbone is very soft, but I use a 500 series reel on this. What I mean by that is each reel comes in different sizes. 500 being the smallest, then 1,000 is a little bigger, 1,500, 2,000, 2,500, 3,000. They go over that, but that's usually when you're getting into using it for trolling rods or offshore fishing in saltwater or huge catfish. On your spool here, it's going to give you recommendations for the amount of line and the size of line that you should be putting on that reel. The other thing that I love about using spinning tackle is each spinning reel is ambidextrous. So what you'll do is on the side here, you can see this little knob, you just unscrew that. That's a threaded screw. And you just back that off until you can remove it. And then you can take your handle and you can flip it around on the other side of the reel like this. So if you're like me and you have a lefty for a son, he can have his own left-handed reel. But that's the good thing about it, is they're ambidextrous, so you don't have to worry so much about, is it the handle on the right side of the reel for me? Because you can switch it. So once again, this is my ultralight. I love using it for dock fishing. You guys have seen it in my dock fishing videos. I'm fishing down in Jamestown, these local docks around here. Great for crappie and panfish, but I have caught bigger fish, bass, and I've caught some catfish on this stuff too. A little bit harder on the pole with such a light pole. It's still fun though. Now the next pole I have here, I use mainly on my boat, but I do take it with me when I go crappie fishing wherever I go. It's a 7-foot light action combo with a 1,000 series reel on it. And you can see the backbone's a little bit more stiff on that, but it still has that nice soft tip on it. So you don't need to set the hook super hard on things. Now I've caught catfish on this, I've caught bass on this, I've caught walleye on these. It's super fun. But the 7-foot gives you the advantage of not having to set that hook so hard. It can just be a quick flick or lifting up your rod tip and you'll have that fish. Now stepping up the ladder here, I want to show you the boat rod I usually keep on the boat. I brought it off the boat just to show you. This is my 6.5-foot medium action rod. Now you can see that backbone is super stiff on that. And the rod tip still has some flex. It's got a fast tip is what that's called, to have a little more flex. But it still has a good backbone for fighting strength for bigger fish, stronger fish. I put on a 2500 series reel on this because, like I said, I use it on my boat mainly for drifting with crawler harnesses, vertical jigging for walleye, even bass fishing, drop shotting, and stuff like that. Same thing goes, the same thing applies. Each reel that you get will have specifications for line amount and size on it. And this here, I'm using a 20-pound braid that has a 6-pound diameter. I'm a fan of braid unless it comes down to trout or salmon fishing, and then you'll have to tie on a leader, usually a fluorocarbon because they're line-shy fish. So that is the 6.5-foot medium action rod. That's great for bass fishing as well, because when you're bass fishing, you want to get that nice hard hook set. So moving right along here, I want to show you my actual favorite rod, which is a heavy action. You see how much there's almost no bend in that. that backbone is a very hard backbone. The tip is very rigid on this. This rod is actually made for drop shotting, which we'll get into that in a little bit later videos. I paired it up with a 1500 series reel on here, and I run like 10-pound mono on here. I won't put anything more than 12-pound mono on this. I just love this rod because it's super heavy, and you get a solid hook set with such a heavy rod. This also is a boat rod, but I do take it to ponds, and I cast for bass with it and stuff like that. Now I want to show you here another rod and another reel. This is a 6.5 foot bait casting setup. I don't really prefer a bait caster. I can use them, but I do get some backlashes. I've always used spinning rods. I prefer spinning rods for everything. It's an open spool design, but it has a free spinning spool on it. So when you press this button, it starts to spin that spool. And if you don't keep any tension on that with your thumb, or there's a tension screw here on the side that will help reduce backlash. Now, a lot of bass anglers fish with these. I've seen guys fish for pike and muskie out with these. A lot of people really love these rod and reels. The only difference between these really and spinning reels is the fact that they're not ambidextrous. You have to buy it in the hand that you need it in. I'm a righty, so I spin my reel with my left hand. Now, I don't like to use my right hand. Now, if you buy a bait caster and a right-handed bait caster, the handle's on the opposite side, using your right hand. Now, I bought a left-handed one just because I'm accustomed to using my left hand to reel in my reel with. But I will use this when I'm out in the lake, when I'm, I'll use it for vertical fishing, bass fishing. If I take hellgrammites or crayfish out, live bait, I'll use this. I'll use this to drift along with some crawler harnesses or vertical jig for walleye, stuff like that. But I don't really prefer using this. I don't use as much as I should in some situations, but I really enjoy my spinning tackle. And I want to show you one last rod here. Now, I didn't put a reel on this because my reel for my Steelhead is on a different rod. But this is a noodle rod. This rod, when put together, is 2 pieces. When these 2 pieces are put together, the rod length is 10 foot 6 inches long. Now you can see it has a nice fast soft tip on there, but the rod itself has a very good backbone on it, a very good backbone. And what that is to control steelhead and to control salmon. I've used it for crappie fishing. It's super fun out of the boat when I'm crappie fishing. It's a little hard to work with in tight situations, but it's really made for steelhead and for salmon. But all in all, if you're just getting started, like I said, start somewhere. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below. Love it if you subscribe, like this video, share it with your friends, and I really hope that Tackle Talk can help you to catch more fish.